here because it's a special day for Bombardier, and it's a special day for Vista. We are delivering our 100th global 7500 best plane in the sky ever to be built in the world today.
On March 29th, Bombardier celebrated its 100th Global 7500 delivery with its largest customer, VistaJet, which has taken 10 of the aircraft manufacturer's flagship business jets so far.
1, 2, 3, go! Hey! All right!
The delivery ceremony took place at Bombardier's Montreal Laurent Beaudoin Completion Center, where the company outfits the aircraft after they're flown from its Toronto assembly plant. This is where customers oversee the interior finishing of their Global 7500, familiarize themselves with them, and take delivery. Among an audience of Bombardier employees and special guests, French-Canadian singer-songwriter Gabriella Laberge kicked off the party before Bombardier VP of Communications Eve Laurier hosted a fireside chat with VistaJet CEO Thomas Flohr and Bombardier CEO Éric Martel.
So I'm going to start with you, Thomas. How do you feel right now?
It's, it's just overwhelming. That's the word which comes to my mind. And I think there's rare opportunities when you can say a big thank you, and today is one of those days. Big thank you, merci bien.
This is quite amazing when you look at what Thomas was able to do in 18 years. This is quite fantastic and spectacular.
Before flying back to Europe with his newest Global 7500, Thomas Flohr sat down with AIN to reflect on the milestone.
So you started VistaJet 18 years ago. Did you ever think you'd get to this point?
No.
What was your goal?
I didn't have a specific goal when I started Vista. What I saw is a lot of inefficiency in this entire industry. And this industry was obsessed with home base. This industry was utilizing these aircrafts like 250 hours per year. And all this didn't make any sense to me. So I created a concept which I believe was the right thing to do, and this is a floating fleet. Floating fleet means the airplane never comes home. It always picks up the next customer in the next destination, and we created a world of one-way flying, and that was my dream. I wanted to allow clients to pay just for the one way to the next city, and so the airplane doesn't have to come back. That's a very efficient model. You can imagine you expand your addressable market enormously by making the price point less expensive, by just changing fundamentally how an industry works. And I think here we are 18 years later, allowing us to take delivery of this beautiful airplane for our client base.
Do you think that philosophy is why you succeeded at owned aircraft when there's been many others who tried an owned aircraft model and couldn't do it?
Sure. I think it's a combination of many things. I think the highlight is certainly that we're a customer-centric company. We want to understand what the customer really needs. And think about it, if you buy an airplane, I always say you buy the wrong one. You buy a medium-range airplane, you got to go intercontinental, you got to stop somewhere. Then you buy a big plane going non-stop somewhere, but why use it from Montreal to New York? Right, so you always buy the wrong airplane. So hence we created a business model allowing you to choose to take the right airplane for the right trip on a basis of guaranteed availability, just like you own your own airplane, and giving clients the ultimate experience in the cabin. And for that, we need to have a fleet which is absolutely consistent. So just like you go to an Hermes store, you always have the same identical experience. And we wanted to create this in the sky, and we did so. Today, we have approximately 250 airplanes, and they're all identical. And it's exactly this livery that you see here. And I think that in combination with using much more utilization of these aircraft, we're flying them between 1,000 and 1,500 hours per year, just allows us to put the price point lower and hence allowing more people to participate in this industry.
Meanwhile, Bombardier Chairman and CEO Éric Martel was thrilled that the Milestone 100th Global 7500 went to longtime customer VistaJet, which intends to take 7 more of the aircraft by year-end.
It's a pretty big ramp up for a program this young, especially when there's supply chain issues and COVID and things like that. So how did you achieve that?
So I think, the team did an amazing job. First of all, the airplane is extremely popular. People love the airplane. This is the only real four-zone that exists today that is in service. 100 airplane, The airplane is behaving well. And the supply chain clearly has been a challenge for all of us. But I think Bombardier my team has done an amazing job in managing the supply chain on a day-to-day. We've redeployed a lot of people in the supply chain to make sure that, we see the problem coming as soon as possible so that we can try to resolve them before they hit our assembly line. And we've been, I would say, majority of the time, very successful. So far, we haven't been hit. We still feel pretty confident about our guidance for this year, which is 120 airplanes. I'm extremely pleased, of where Bombardier is today. We went through a major restructuring 2 years ago. We clearly, are at a different place. I said last week publicly that I think we're at the better place than we were probably for the last 2 decades. Very strong market ahead of us. We have the right product, so we feel pretty good about our product offering. It's actually extremely well received. And we're very optimistic about what's ahead of us. And Bombardier is well represented everywhere around the world. In terms of also not just have a presence, but also have capability to better serve the customer. We're building a new facility in Australia. We just quadrupled the size of our service facility in Singapore. We are quadrupling the size of our service facility in Miami. Fort Lauderdale, in Opelika, to be more precise. We just opened 2 weeks ago our London new facility, which is also about 3-4 times bigger than the one we had before. So offering the necessary support, I think, is very important, and we're doing the investment to be able to grow also that market and have a better portion of our revenue coming from the services business.